The nation of Iran is trolling Donald Trump with scalding insults, and frankly, it might be the most impressive part of this whole Iran-Israel mess at the moment. Strap in, folks. I'm David Reddish. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. As you are no doubt aware by now, the missile exchanges between Israel and Iran continue. The nations are about 1,000 miles apart, in case you don't have a map in front of you, so at the moment, engagement of ground forces looks unlikely, at least for the time being. Here's where things stand at the moment.
This is an unprecedented aerial war fought across hundreds of miles. Overnight, a barrage of Israeli missiles streaked across the skies of Tehran, taken out by Iran's air defense system. Iran retaliated with another wave of its own missiles. Sirens blared here in Israel, warning they were on the way. Then intercepted in Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, and the occupied West Bank.
And now the Iranians are getting personal. Stay with me. As the conflict continues, the biggest question on the mind of the world remains: will the United States join in the attack on Israel? Part of the reason Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu favored Donald Trump in the 2024 election, to the point he kept rejecting Gaza ceasefire terms because he knew they hurt Kamala Harris, is because he's long thought he can manipulate Trump into a U.S. attack on Iran. Trump's earlier tweets calling for Iran's unconditional surrender add fuel to that theory. Reached on the White House lawn this morning, Trump gave a cryptic answer when asked about potential American involvement.
You've been answered questions about whether you are moving closer, or you believe the U.S. is moving closer to striking Iranian nuclear facilities. Where's your mindset on that?
I can't say that, right? You don't seriously think I'm going to answer that question? Will you strike the Iranian nuclear component? And what time exactly, sir? Sir, would you strike it? Would you please inform us so we can be there and watch? I mean, you don't know that I'm going to even do it. You don't know. I may do it. I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do. I can tell you this, that Iran's got a lot of trouble, and they want to negotiate. And I said, why didn't you negotiate with me before? All this death and destruction. Why didn't you negotiate? I said to the people, why didn't you negotiate with me 2 weeks ago? You could have done fine. You would have had a country. It's very sad to watch this. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's so, everyone thought it was going to be the reverse. I didn't think so. And I was telling them, you gotta do something. You gotta negotiate. And at the end, last minute, they said, no, we're not going to do that, and they got hit. Remember 60 days, and then came the 60. 61 is going to become a very famous number. That was one hell of a hit. That first hit. That was one hell of a hit. Not sustainable, to be honest. That's where it ended. It ended on the first night, yes.
In case you hadn't guessed, that press conference on the White House lawn over a new flagpole was typically meandering and weird. As for Trump's wacky answer, well, it is true that U.S. forces have been moving into the region, including a massive fleet of air-to-air refueling planes. In response to Trump's demands for surrender and to make a deal, more on that in a moment, the Iranian Supreme Command took to Twitter with this warning. No Iranian official has ever asked to grovel at the gates of the White House. The only thing more despicable than his lies is his cowardly threat to take out Iran's supreme leader. Iran does not negotiate under duress, shall not accept peace under duress, and certainly not with a has-been warmonger clinging to relevance. Iran shall respond to any threat with a counter-threat and to any action with reciprocal measures. Yes, folks, that's right. Iran just hit Trump where it hurts the most. His ego, calling him a has-been warmonger. Frankly, I think that's generous. That assumes he was ever a major star. He wasn't. When his real estate business went bust, he ended up on reality TV. And he was a has-been then, too. But more to the point, it seems like Iran just called Trump's bluff. Threats of force against Iran have already caused a major schism in Trump's already fractured support, with longtime fans like Tucker Carlson turning on him over breaking his isolationist policy. For more on that, see our other videos here on the channel. And while the possibility of a U.S. attack is very real, knowing Trump, who always sees himself as a deal maker, what I suspect is really going on is that he is pressuring the Iranians into negotiating some kind of deal to end the war. Thus far, Trump has failed to do so in Ukraine, in Gaza, or between India and Pakistan. The Iran-Israel war gives him yet another chance to play peacemaker. It also gives him a chance to force the Iranians to sign over mineral rights to US companies, something Trump pushed for in his attempts at a nuclear deal with Iran, and one of the big reasons that deal failed too. Trump thinks he can play peacemaker in one of the world's longest-running and most dangerous conflicts, neuter a terrorist government, and make himself rich to boot. It would also fit with his taco persona. He'll chicken out when it comes to war. Notice that I didn't mention the Iranian people there. They are not on Trump's mind, or Netanyahu's, I promise. For what it's worth, I spoke to an Iranian friend of mine yesterday. He is safe, and his family is evacuating Tehran. He also told me something surprising. The Iranian people sincerely hope the Ayatollah is killed, or at least removed from power in this conflict. They hate the son of a bitch dictator more than even we do. Persian people, the Iranian people, despite the theocratic government, are actually quite liberal-minded and desperately want to become a Western-style democracy. That is a big ask. Even if the Ayatollah and his military commanders all die or surrender, that would create a power vacuum, and it's not entirely clear how a democratic government could take root. And remember, things still have to work for the people in the country, lest we end up with another Iraq. Thus, all eyes turn again to the taco president to see if he rolls the dice. Whatever happens, pray for the Iranian people. They stand to lose the most here, and they are not our enemies. This is Occupy Democrats.